Talk about the Jamaica band's music. Okay, this is like I didn't even read it yet, but I know this is overstated by a lot. Okay, this is big overstated. So here's the thing. Let me give you a little. Actually, I'm gonna read this and I'll give you a little bit of background. Okay. Jamaica Broadcasting Authority has banned content that glorifies illegal activities such as drug and gun use. Okay. The new rule covers TV and radio, include music, and lists specific topics that are off limits: scamming, drug abuse. The illegal use of firearms cannot be promoted, and swearing or near sounding replacements are also banned. But the strict nature of the ban has been criticized by some artists who argue that music is a reflection of life. It comes amid high levels of violent crime in Jamaica. In 2021, the island nation had one of the highest murder rates in Latin America and the Caribbean, but the broadcasting agency says the use of the public airways to broadcast songs that glorify illegal activity could give the wrong impression that criminality is an accepted feature of Jamaican culture and society. All forms of illegal or criminal activity are not prohibited. In an effort to help keep the airwaves clean, a station operator required to take immediate steps to comply. Concerned that offended content could normalize criminality among young adults and vulnerable and impressionable youths was also cited as a reason for the changes. However, some of Jamaican musical artists have criticized the move. We cannot stop the creatives, the artists, from singing about what they see around them or grew up around, said Romish, salute to Romish, a local music manager and producer, in an Instagram post. He went on to ask if Jamaica is the only culture that has children because the same children listen to these same songs elsewhere. Grammy Award-winning producers and singer Stephen McGregor, Stephen the Genius, he voiced his frustrations on Twitter. He says, "Yay, crime and violence magically gonna stop now." He sarcastically wrote before pointing out that young people listen to music over the internet more often than through a radio. In my opinion, the move is more of a, look, we're doing something than actually trying to do something, said McGregor, okay? This is what I was going to get to. This isn't the first time that some music was banned in Jamaica. In 2009, this is after. I'm going to give some context, so I'm reading that, and I'm also talking about it a little bit off the cuff. So in 2009, Jamaica was in a very polarizing time. Imagine when the beef between Tupac and Biggie. Imagine if that was so powerful in a society that the society were also fighting it out in the streets. That was happening when Vibes Cartel and also Movado were beefing. Okay, it's Gaza versus Gully. That was their respective groups. Kids at school would pick sides and they would be stabbing each other up. The government realized that. Number one, they got them two artists. They pretty much forced their ass, like, y'all gotta do a truce or y'all not gonna be able to perform at all on the island. Number two, they did this like censorship shit again, which they said any music, and that's what it said in 2009, regulators banned music promoting sex, violence, murder, and arson and daggering. Remember daggering used to be a thing? It still is actually. A type of sexually suggested dancing gaining popularity. The commission latest statement says while there had to be regard for freedom of expression, content promoting criminality conflicted with the tenets of responsible broadcasting. So here's the thing. They've done this before. So they ban music promoting these type of things. Here's the point. You can't technically ban music like that because number one, what every artist is going to do, and they're going to do still. So they did it in 2009. They're going to do even more now. All you do is just edit the song. So if you make a song like, yo, I'm going to kill that nigga down the street, shoot him in the head with an AR-15, all you're going to do is, bro, you make a clean version. So Jamaicans are, if you listen to the clean versions of songs, they'll even edit out the word kill. You get what I mean? They'll edit out, you know what I mean? They'll use like, you know, like, yo, well, in Jamaica, this is seen as a kind of a violent term, but like slap him away or something like that. You get what I mean? So essentially, anything that they're not only editing out fuck, damn, shit, bitch, and stuff like that. They edit out the content. So a song about killing, they'll make a clean version that it sounds like it's almost a love song. But nobody's listening to the clean version. The clean version is just for the radio. Like the broadcasting committee can't really control the major spreading of music now because what people are getting all their music from, even in Jamaica, is the internet. Everybody's getting their music from the internet. So if you're trying to block music that's disseminating through the internet, but you're only blocking it on the radio and TV, people ain't gonna watch the radio and TV if it's not music that's they already are familiar with through the internet. So you know what the artists are gonna do? They're just gonna make remixes. You know what I mean? And I'll give you an example. Let me see if I can pull up Spotify. There's a lot of let me see. Okay. So an artist who's been incarcerated actually since 2011, Vibes Cartel. When he's been known for making music that's been considered demonic, like he would describe in a very detailed way how he would kill somebody, and he'll be like, yo, he'll say lines like, he don't even care if this, like he'll be like, yo, he'll get a bunch of people to shoot up the car, blah, blah, then he'll say something like, you don't care if kids is in the car, this and third, and the society loved it. But obviously, you know, once they start making these rules, it's like, you can't play that on airwave, like, yo, you're gonna shoot up a car and kill kids, like, not like that doesn't. So you know what he did is he just started talking in code. It's the reason why, like, anybody can talk in code. So oh, my Spotify crashed. Let me try to bring it up. So for example, like he dropped a song. Let me see. So for example, he dropped a song called and I'll play. Actually, let me just play here. So instead of like naming the guns and saying I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do this, they're just gonna get creative, like Vibes Cartel, Touch a Button, right? This is one of the songs that evaded the ban, right? Essentially, if you understand patois, he's using like phrases that everybody knows is kind of, it's like an underlying tone of violence, but he's not directly saying the shit no more. So everybody just have to get creative.
Yo, Sean, you can't rough me up. No.
So you guys probably don't understand what he's saying, but essentially he's not saying nothing violent that would break the law that they put in. But if you like this type of music, it's like imagine if Chicago put down a rule that says you can't rap about smoking on nobody dead no more, right? Like that's just a rule. You can't rap about that, and you can't say GDK or BDK or whatever else the case. Or you're not gonna get people to stop doing it. You're just gonna get people to be more creative while doing it, right? They're gonna make up new terms, new little phrases, and that's just how it's always been. Like words is an evolving, words and language is super evolving, and if you tell somebody they can't say fuck, they're gonna come up with some other shit to, you know what I mean? It's like the word hoe. Like if you tell someone, yo, you can't say hoe in a song, somebody will be like, all right, I'll just say thought. Yo, you can't say thought. I'll just say treesh. Yo, you can't say treesh. I'll say pop. Like, there's mad different ways you can say the same thing. So that's exactly what's going to happen now in Jamaican society. They're going to have, when this is a law they're putting in, they're going to have to detail it. What do you mean by what's going to fit under, let's see what they say. So what's going to fit under scamming lyrics, right? Like, whatever they're going to write in law, be like, yo, if you rap about this, they're just gonna talk about scamming in some other like low-key way. Like drugs, they're gonna talk about it in some other low-key way. Right? I mean, they do it now. I mean, I've never seen this happen in the United States where they ban specific lingo or whatever. And also that wouldn't even matter in the United States because nobody needs the radio stations, at least street rappers don't need the radio stations to pop off. They're popping off via Instagram and all these other places. You get what I mean? So, I hope I didn't lose some of y'all. Basically, they're realizing the violence is getting worse and worse again. They're trying to absolve themselves. They put some rules in saying, stop rapping about violence. You can't stop people rapping about violence because people love hearing about violence. They're going to come up with new slangs, new little ways, and they're going to evade it, and they're going to make 3, 5, 6 versions of a song that could play on. So I'll tell you another thing they do. So in American culture, it's usually a little bit lazier. Like, for example, I don't know. Give me any song, right? If I go on Spotify and I play, tell me a song that has a bunch of, okay, piss me off, right? They probably didn't even drop a clean version of that, right? They probably don't even care about radio, right? So Lil Durk pissed me off. He says bitch a bunch of times. He says fuck. He says a bunch of stuff that you could not play on the radio. Usually when people drop singles, you drop multiple things. They don't do that anymore really. Usually you drop the acapella, usually you drop a dirty version, you drop a clean version, you drop sometimes it might be another clean version just called a radio version, and the instrumental. So it's usually 5 songs or 5 different tracks on a single it's usually a single CD. That's what it's called. So like if you buy, like back in the day, if you bought In the Club, right, and just the single, so you could buy a CD with just In the Club. You would have In the Club, the dirty version, In the Club, the clean version, In the Club. These are all different tracks. Track 3, In the Club, radio version. Then you'd have In the Club, just the instrumental, and it would kind of make sense why people would buy a single, right? Like if you, for whatever reason, that's how rappers used to get instrumentals back in the day. You buy the single, you get the instrumental off of there, and then you just record it on the instrumental. Anyway, niggas don't do that no more, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you click on these songs, if I show you Spotify, not is it back open? Let me just close this bitch the right way. Like, all right, who cares about that? Anyway, the point what I'm trying to say is that one of the rules they're making, and this is what I was trying to say. It says you can't mention the illegal use of firearm cannot be promoted, and swearing or near sounding replacements. So what used to be is people would like say you said fuck, they banned you dropping a version and just bleeping it out. So they still do that in American music where you could just bleep it out, or you could just, so you tell the engineer like, give me the clean version. They mute the fucks, the dams, the bitches, all that stuff that is clean, quote unquote. In Jamaica, those songs could not be played. You have to re-record the song and you have to say another word in place of the curse word. You get what I mean? So like their thought is if I don't know. Okay, say the song like, fuck them other niggas because I'm down with my niggas, right? If you just kind of mute the word fuck and be like, and they could hear the beat and be like, them other niggas because I'm like, come on, like people are going to understand that you're trying to get them to say fuck. So they do this whole thing that you got to re-record it, but the artists do it, man. The artists like, bruh, artists are really resourceful. Like you put any type of rules, they're going to adjust to it. So this ban means nothing at all. Okay? In the broader scheme of things, I don't think this has any effect on the United States. I don't even think something like this could ever, I don't think this would ever pass with the FCC. You know, the FCC controls like the radio airwaves and also the TV stations. They would never put something like this because the culture would get down on them for movies and other things. The only thing is in Jamaica, there isn't many movies that are made there. The only type of art that is really played on public sphere is music, and these artists historically has had almost immense power that the government looks at them in fear. Like, you know, for example, the same guy, Vibes Cartel. It was almost understood that if he instructed kids to, you know, back then giving like fellatio and all that shit was kind of taboo. If he sung a song about, yo, I'm getting my dick sucked, like back then, like girls was sucking dick and niggas was eating pussy, at least in Jamaica, right? Allegedly, right? But if he sung a song about it, the whole culture, the moral fiber of the culture would be like, well, if Cartel said it's cool, it must be cool. You get what I mean? So now you have somebody who could shift the entire moral fabric of the fucking country, and the government's not going to want nobody to have that type of power. Like, I don't think there's nobody in the United States that has, well, with the exception of maybe not that type of stuff, but like Trump. Like, and I think this is why the government treats him a little bit different too. Like, Trump is probably the only nigga who could possibly start an uprising if, that's why they took him on social media, right? Like, if that nigga really was like, yo, this is bullshit and I want y'all to fight for me to rule this country, I do think there'll be some wars breaking out. Niggas do love them some Trump. However, in places like Jamaica, it's impoverished. The musicians and area leaders are those people. They call them dons. Okay. Anyway, I've given you guys enough like kind of Jamaica politics and like dichotomy. I hope you understand it. If you appreciated it, I'm glad. If not, we can move on. Somebody said he made niggas storm the Capitol. Yeah, and it was kind of some.